Okay, hopefully that takes care of it. No video? There should be video. I see video on YouTube. Now, okay. Yeah, we got some new ones. This new batch. Yeah, we call this one Fuzz. Kind of fuzzy. And there's another one roaming around at.
It's all working good.
Okay. I'm sure we'll be stopping by. Yeah. Where did that thing go? Right there, okay. Come here. So, this one here, kind of a fun one. Ooh. Huh? Yep. I don't think you can hear very good. This one's got pretty blue eyes, though, don't you? Hmm? You're just so busy. Yeah, it's kind of funny having some pictures on the wall, right? Oh, you have a cat named Bob? That's fun. No, Jeremy's hanging with family today. So it's just kind of you and me and the cute little kittens. A rat named Gerbil. Video Ben used to have pet rats. I found that pretty interesting. Yeah. Hopefully someone else can help you with the video on Twitch. I don't know Twitch all that well. Come here. So, why don't you just sit with us for a little bit? So this one kind of has mittens. If you look at the little feet, don't you? Yeah. You know, normally cats have a thumb that's like down here, but this one has a thumb like we do. And a dog named Ted. Now that's fantastic. So yep, thought we'd just hang out, chat, the kitties. Yeah, so this is the infinity cup. So it's got kind of that infinity shape, and it just has a really interesting design. kind of a custom design that just landed in the mail one day from I think a rather gifted maker. Haven't seen much of him recently. Hope everything's doing okay. No, it's not a replacement. This is the original. Although I've looked into a few methods to make a few more of these, because I certainly would like to have a few more, and I think it'd be cool to share them with the Dynaverse. Venn diagram cup. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I don't know how many tries it took for him to get this one dialed in. But from the best I can tell, there's nothing wrong with it. No cracks or chips or anything else like that. It's just pretty nice. Come here. Come here. You can say hello. Yeah. Oh, no pushing buttons. No pushing buttons. This one's pretty curious, aren't you? Yep. Kind of likes to, this one tends to lean left when walking. So we kind of call her NASCAR. Yeah, we need some more cap pins, that's for sure. Armored baller cap. You know, I appreciate that thought. I've been paying attention to the feedback from the community, and it seems like it's probably something that we should be looking into doing to maybe just balance out the heat profile a little bit. And yes, so these kittens are Fosters. They came in, I think maybe a little over a month ago. Yeah, you're just kind of fun, aren't you? It's just kind of nice to have some kittens around, help them find a good home. I think the little feet on this one are just so interesting, because they're not like normal kitty feet. And the back feet are got an extra toe, so it's kind of fun too. So yeah, if you ever feel like coming in for a visit, we tend to have a few extra kitties around for a bit. Do I prefer white shirts? I actually don't wear white shirts that often. It was just today. It was kind of a work around the yard, work in the shop day, and I just grabbed a t-shirt I had my dresser and I grabbed this one, so I just put this on kind of as a test. It's a little iron-on vinyl that I wanted to make sure I knew what I was doing with, so I just grabbed a t-shirt that I could wear under a nicer shirt and just ironed it on and see what it looked like. Because sometimes when you're ironing on the little vinyls, it's really hard to get a good feel for what they actually look like until you actually have them on a shirt. No, I think the photos are just pictures of some cats. Lori picked those up from someone in Madison a little while back. It's kind of a fun little game that we play. I'm trying to get the one kitten to go underneath. Here you go. Here you go. Why not 4 different hole sizes as it turns? That'd be kind of an interesting approach. The thought behind it was that you kind of adjust in between as well, and so we cut the 2 different holes at different angles to one another, so it allows for a bit of an attenuation. Yeah, they're fun, aren't they? Cinco or Cinca. Yeah, that'd be good. Any of you driving a little bit this weekend? It's a holiday weekend here in the U.S. So many of us have a little extra time to do something else. I'm curious, what is your something else? For me, I was doing a little bit of yard work, and then went to work and was kind of cleaning my room and moving some furniture around. I think I'm in the process of listing a little bit of furniture on Marketplace to swap out some couches that have been around for a while. Six-hour drive. Hopefully someplace interesting. Do these cats click? I think they get along all right. They're definitely kind of fun though. So I got something kind of fun to share with some of you today. Something from, wow, more than 5 years ago. Good old Phantom M from 2019. I was actually doing some experimenting with one of these today. Getting some interesting things going around. And right now, we technically have 3 kittens. We have these 2 that are in here. And one more that's been around for a little bit longer that I think just got connected with someone from Minnesota that's gonna come down and adopt them. Do I like kiwi fruit? Oh, absolutely. In fact, I used to have kiwi vines in my backyard, but wasn't able to move those, and I moved into this area. I'd like to have. They were just starting to really produce too. Green or yellow ones, I like them both. And the interesting thing is the ones that I used to grow didn't have any fuzz, so they weren't brown on the outside, they were green all the way through. Green skin, green inside. But then I had these other variations that they called, I don't even know what they called the fruit, but the fruits grew on a plant that they called a silver vine. And it was a plant that it took me a couple tries and a few extra years really just to get it established. Because as I came to learn, silver vine has some of the same compounds in the leaves as catnip, and turns out that some of the neighborhood cats kept chewing off my little tiny silver vine before it could really get established. But once it got going, it was actually pretty vigorous. I had to cut it back, in the spring, just to give it a little bit of room. And it would make these fruits that were about the color of a ripe habanero and about the same size as a small one. They're round and not quite kiwi shaped because they had a little point on the end of them. They had a really interesting flavor profile too. That they actually tasted a little bit like a cross between a kiwi and a pepper or a chili that's not spicy. Well, I'm familiar with marshmallow, and not candy either. But I'd love for you to elaborate a little bit more. Okay, your kitty likes silver vine too. Okay. Ooh, my favorite fruits. Passion fruit, mango, kiwi's right up there. Peaches are time of year, right? Boy, when the peaches are ripe on the peach trees, it's hard to get anything better than that. I mean, tree ripe peaches, I mean, come on. And hopefully the summer will be nice, because there's tiny little peaches on one of my peach trees. It's going to be interesting because I've never had peaches off of this tree, and it's a tree that I grew from seed from peaches that I grew on one of my favorite varieties of peach tree that I planted when I first moved here. So we'll see. So I don't even know what month they're going to get ripe. You know, the tree that it came from, the peaches would get ripe usually towards the end of August. It's a fruit that's commonly grown in Wisconsin. So fruits that are common in this state are apples. You know, a lot of apple trees. In fact, in the pastures around the farms where I grew up, it was really, really common for there to be just wild apple trees. You know, unless the farmers went and cut them all down, but there'd just be wild apple trees. And there's a few farms I went and visited in the fall. It was kind of interesting. You could just go around the pasture, you know, maybe on an ATV or something like that, and just go from tree to tree to tree to tree, and every one of them was different, you know. So, yep, lots of apple trees. Ooh, and pears, that's nice. Haven't grown pears. Oh, that sounds good. Rose petal and marshmallow mix. I do like juicy pears. I found that I kind of like the crunchy pears too. Fruits are excellent. Are vegetables even real? Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I like the Asian style pears. Yep, so peach tree's looking good. Also kind of exciting, some of the grafts that I put on the peach tree last summer are growing leaves, which is pretty exciting. Yep, and the blueberries, one of them that wasn't looking so good last fall didn't make it through the winter. And even though it didn't get terribly cold here last winter, it seemed like it was a really hard winter. A lot of our various plants around the yard didn't make it. And I think it's just because we didn't have much snow, so I think it was just hard on the plants. You know, raspberries died back a lot further than normal. The blackberry plant that we put in it suffered a little bit, but it looks like it's starting to go, so that's good. Strawberries looking good. Gooseberries are vigorous and covered in fruit. Currants are looking good. What else do we have in the yard here? Oh, put a new wintergreen plant in. I used to have a persimmon tree where I used to live. In fact, I had a lot of fruit in that yard. You know, like the kiwis and the silver vine and gooseberries, 4 different kinds of gooseberries, blackberries, raspberries, peaches, persimmons. There's another interesting vine called a magnolia vine. Environmental way to remove wild blackberries. Oh, that sounds good. Easiest fruit. I find the raspberries to be pretty easy. So I've got a little bit of hardware cloth. It looks like woven wire around my blueberries to keep the keep the mice and the rabbits off. If our cucumbers are gourd. Yeah, that's fun. Omni condenser's making a return. Probably. I've got a few around as well. So maybe it'll be a vault item, something like that. Kind of like those Omni condensers. They're pretty cool looking. Got some other products we've been playing around with, incorporating them into, or just using them as testers, etc. Come here, Fuzz. Come here. Hi. Are you fuzzy? It's kind of funny because Fuzz kind of has a like this little stripe of hair like right on the back that just, it's not me putting it up. This cat just seems to have this like mohawk all the time. It's just kind of funny. So got some apparently promising developments on our induction module. Yeah. So we've been having some good chats with the manufacturer, and if all goes well, might actually get a shipment of those units this year, which would be pretty exciting. So sometimes with the Omni, it helps to pull the mouthpiece out and unthread the condenser at least part way, and then reinstall it into the stem. It helps it engage because we're relying on the friction between the O-ring and the stem to resist the twist, so that when you twist the mouthpiece, it stays rotationally stationary, so it threads in or threads out of the mouthpiece, so that it'll extend or retract. So yeah, hopefully that'll help. If it's still not working, the Dynavap Discord's a great place to connect with other people in the community and talk tips and tricks and other things like that regarding some of your products. Yep. And if you're having issues with that O-ring, there's a number of causes that can be remedied, right? Yeah, helix tip is pretty fun, isn't it? One of my favorites. Hi. I think the beeswax and mineral oil is pretty nice for the O-rings. It's slippery but slightly tacky as well, which is particularly nice for that Omni condenser O-ring to give it a little bit of traction so that it just adjusts a little bit better. So just something to keep in mind. Tea's nice tonight. What kind of tea is everyone out sipping on? I'd love to hear about it. Yeah, I don't know if I'm looking for coffee right now. A boot full of coffee. At least not this time of day. I gotta be careful of the caffeine. It seems like caffeine and I don't get along the best. I'm kind of sensitive to it, and I get just a little bit anxious, and it seems like it takes a long time to wear off. I can remember back in the day, doing some of my previous work, have a part of an energy drink, get some things going. But boy, if I'd have too much, or I don't know if it was something I ate would interact with it or whatever, sometimes you just get a little bit too much caffeine and get a headache and get a little nausea, and it takes like 3 hours to go away. It's pretty bad. Kava's pretty nice too. New tips for parts on the horizon? Yep. And I'm going to be really curious what you think of this next one. Actually, just give me more than one. But there's one coming that I think people are going to like. There's some other cool stuff coming this summer. It's actually going to be a pretty interesting summer. Because here we are. Wow. Holy cow. In just over 2 weeks, I'm heading back to Europe. It's actually been like the longest stretch I haven't been to Europe in a while. It's been over a year. And normally I go at least once a year. But I didn't do Spanibus this year, which is the first time I haven't done Spanibus since they've actually had it, all the way back to 2018. But heading to Berlin in June for Mary Jane, so that should be a good time. So if you're gonna be in the area, might want to connect, stop by. I haven't had wild dandelion tea, but kind of to try that too. I've got quite a crop of dandelions in my yard, and I don't like to spray pesticides in my yard because I've got a garden there and I've got other fruiting plants that I just don't want poisons in my yard. Same thing, with the sometimes kitties go outside for a walk around the yard. I think it's best to not have that stuff. Oh, that's just fun. Where are they at? They're fun, aren't they? I like to grow things. Mostly fruits and vegetables. But, I can remember back when I first started growing the garden, I actually used to grow cotton. It's such an interesting looking plant. You experiment with Dynavap. Well, you come to the right place because there's a whole lot of people here that can show you how this fun little thing works. I can even give a little demo here because I got a lighter in my pocket. Sure do. All right. So here we got 2019 Phantom M, and most people put a little bit of ground flour in there, and the key is you cap this thing off and use a little lighter and apply a little bit of heat on the side of the cap like this. So end on, you can kind of see, hitting the side of the cap. So you hear that click, and that means cookies are ready. And you can take a nice little puff off of there. Oh, maybe we'll have to take it apart and take a look. So another thing that's kind of nice, the tip on the M, most of our devices, you just kind of grab it, get a little twist and pull, it'll come right out. Then you can take the digger out of the cap, and there's a little tube in there. You can kind of stick that in there and give it a little push, pull that condenser out, and then we'll take a look at that CCD. So we'll pop that out. So I use a condenser to pop that out. And makes it really easy for taking everything apart for cleaning purposes. And you can use a condenser to pop it back in, or if you happen to have another device around, well, I found that the mouthpiece on like a Unidyne or a Woodwind or even a Hyperdyne is just really nice for putting the screen into the tip. Yeah, there we go. And then we can just put it all back together. There's a little tip. Yeah, I guess I haven't been online much lately. Been kind of focused on a whole lot of my own stuff, so I don't have many opinions at all in terms of what's going on there. Maybe I should pay a little closer attention. I don't know. Yeah, maybe the only thing I can say is that Sure is nice when people are nice. So let's just do our best to be that way. Maybe click a couple caps and make things a little bit better. Just relax a little bit. Click a cap, maybe with a kitten. Hey, little kitten. Hey, Fuzz. Come here. Yeah. Seems like more often than not, being kind is the harder choice. But seems like more often than not, the more difficult choice is the correct one. So I'm actually using, just looking for a cap the other day, and I came across this one. It's like, oh, that's kind of a fun one. So, is it a regular cap? Well, temperature-wise, yes, but yeah. Yeah, this whole experience we call life is definitely kind of an adventure. And it certainly is what we make of it. And it certainly is affected significantly by the choices that we make. I know I've made a number of choices that have made my situation better, and a number of choices that have made it worse. And I think little by little, if we learn from our choices, we end up with more of what we're looking for and less of what we're not. And just kind of my goal to keep on that trend, keep learning, find ways to share some good times with some good people, make some people's day when there's a good opportunity. Perspective absolutely matters. Do I have kids? Got one. And yeah, enjoy having him around. In fact, I learned quite a bit from that whole arrangement. You know, the goal is to teach your children, right? Well, it's actually really fun to learn from them too. You know, hello to Houston. People are fun. I love it. Pretty nice to just tune in and hang out with me on a Sunday night. Just sit back and have a cup of tea. Hang with the little white kittens. Oh, it's a particularly nice cup of tea today. I think it was some mango immunity and some blueberry something. I just don't know what it was. Pretty nice. Now starts the competition about the drive home. Okay. Oh, grandchild. All right. I know Bart just became a grandpa not too long ago. Huh. Not not much better than having your product approved by the government. I mean, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so current plan is going to be heading to Europe here in just over 2 weeks. Not sure yet, but I'm kind of leaning towards making a stop in UK, maybe 2, on my way to mainland, and then see if I can make my way over to Berlin. Share some good times, good vibes with some people along the way. Maybe drop a few devices here and there in some places that I haven't been before, because that's always kind of fun. And let's just see if we can keep making things better. Oh yeah, it's time for one of these. Oh, I do meetups when I travel. I like to do it in Europe. These are pretty cool. I particularly like how this one has a storage compartment in the lid, which I think it's a pretty nice having a little extra storage capacity. Do I have a Lift Innovations grinder? It seems like I do, but I have to check. Hey, I don't think that's for you. Okay, yep, the Lift, yep, has the blade. Yeah, I think those are made in Canada. I met the inventor of that product out at Champs, like one of the first Champs that I went to. I remember trading some Dynavap products for some of those grinders. It is pretty nice how some of these grinders do separate the stems. Oh yeah. Yep. I definitely can get some if you're looking for like design files and things like that for like Capman, yeah, no problem. Just send me a message to teatime@dynavap.com and we'll get you all fixed up. I've got most of those files right here on my computer. Yeah, it's kind of fun. Oh, I think I know you, Daniel. It does take me a little while to get all the associations, people, screen names, etc. eventually I get it figured out. Hi, Fuzz. You're pretty soft, aren't you? Yeah, so Fuzz has like short, curly fur, don't you?
Probably tell him you're going to do a giveaway for that.
Oh, it already went.
Oh, it did?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Ever plan on doing partnership with YouTubers again? Oh, absolutely. I'd love to. In fact, I would love to have your suggestions, or even better, introductions with anyone that you think might be a good fit, whether it's YouTube or really any platform. It doesn't matter to me. I just like connecting with other interesting people, especially creators and makers, so we can talk about making stuff. In fact, I kind of rely on other people to give me some suggestions in terms of people and things that are going on, because I don't spend a whole lot of time online, so I'm just not aware of a lot of the people and the things that are going on. So if you think it's important or relevant, yeah, don't hesitate to send a message to teatime@dynavap.com. It's something that gets monitored, so I'll find out about it, and just opportunity to connect. Learning channel. Yeah, definitely like learning. One of my favorite things to do. Wow, so many things to look into. Favorite strain lately? So I was able to sample someone's kind of labor of love here not that long ago. Some flowers that they grew themselves, and it was just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, aroma, flavor profile, and just all these interesting things. It was some of the most interesting flower I've ever come across, and I hope to come across more like that again sometime. It's just really, really good. Would a solid gold Dynavap work? Yep, I'm sure it would. It might be a little bit different. And yeah, to absolutely collaborate with other companies. Just need an introduction. I don't really look at anyone out there as a competitor. I think there's certainly some companies out there that are a bit more friendly than others. But the reality is, as long as you're willing, there's an opportunity to work with just about anybody. And I think that presents some of the most interesting opportunities out there, where you work with someone that might be considered a competitor to design a product that's potentially better than either company could do separately. Okay, what was that called? It was it was a midnight. Oh, now I'm trying to think. So come on. Oh. Now it's not coming. Maybe it'll come here in a minute. Yeah. I think it was kind of a real special strain that was produced by I would say a really passionate breeder, and I found it to be rather energetic. Really, really, really nice. Almost perfume. It was fantastic. Oh, it was definitely sativa leaning for sure. Yeah, it was kind of like one of a whole family of various different strains. So I'll check and see if iSpire has any more of the inside glass. It's not exactly easy to get out or replace. So, but if it's cracked or damaged, and you haven't had it very long, just get in touch with the customer service department. We can probably get you taken care of. Yeah. They're fun, aren't they? Yeah, well, yeah. Without customer service, how do you really take care of your customers? I mean, really. I think it's such an important part of having a business, right? Um, Even if you make products that don't really break, still got to take care of your customers. Looks like we're going round 2 on the stash grinder. So, Salty Bunny got a stash grinder, 5-piece, pretty nice, black. And so you just need to send us a message to teatime@dynavap.com, and we'll get all of your shipping information and we'll send it right out to you. Now that's an interesting question. How many people have inherited a Dynavap? If you have, we would love to know the story. Because it's one of those things that we kind of aspire to be, and that's a company that makes generational products. You know, because why not? With all the material science and the technology that we have at our fingertips these days, I mean, there's no reason we can't make products that last for generations. Yep. And the thing is about the CCDs, they don't get old, right? So if you got a few spares around, or maybe even a few more than a few spares, you can keep them in a little baggie, or I like the little twist top jars quite a bit. They're just gonna be ready for you when you need them. And don't see why they wouldn't be ready for you for decades. Oh yeah, Jeremy's hanging with his fam tonight. Yeah. Which is good, you know, it's holiday weekend, spend some time with the family. And, you know, people giving away Dynavaps. I love hearing about other people sharing. I really, really do. Although I do encourage, if you're gonna share Dynavap with someone, it's sometimes almost better to loan it to them versus give it to them. Because when someone loans you an item, it's not yours. And it seems like people tend to take a little bit better care of something that's on loan than something that's theirs. And that way, if it's not their thing, if it doesn't really resonate with them, well then you can ask for it back. It's like, hey, is that working for you? Are you using it? Oh, no, not really. Oh, well, could I have it back so I could share it with someone else? And I think it just helps make sure that they find a good home. Wow. Omni, Vong I, and M Plus last month. That's fantastic. Thank you for doing that. And I would love to see some art pieces made of Dynavaps. If you know anyone out there that wants to do some cool art like that, let me know. Wow. It is kind of an interesting way to build like the community around you, right? When you share these products with other people, it's kind of like inviting a new person into your own community of people that you just interact with, which is kind of fun. Yeah, well, we've got a couple different welders available, so let's see what happens. We could definitely use some of our devices as a guitar slide. I'd like to see a video with that. I think that'd be great. Do we have titanium rod? Depends on your definition of rod, because we've got titanium in a wide range of different sizes, from wire, small tubes, bigger tubes. It's not going to be easy to weld like that, because titanium it likes oxygen too much to be in a molten state without a modified atmosphere. I think although the technology has progressed in a pretty interesting and I think somewhat unexpected way, where they now have some brazing compounds that actually braze titanium rather well without needing that special atmosphere. But it requires some pretty specific flux, and it's not cheap. But to actually weld, like TIG weld or wire weld titanium, I'm not currently aware of a way that can be easily done. Even with the shielding gas, I don't think it works particularly well because it just has such an affinity for oxygen. Do you support third part accessories for Dynavap? In general, we'd like to support the other makers and creators out there. And if you've got thoughts or questions, please reach out. We'd love to connect with you and talk about how we can best help each other out. I have to watch some videos on welding titanium. That might be kind of fun. I can remember learning how they actually make titanium. It's pretty interesting process. And when you see how it's actually made, it becomes a little bit easier to understand why it was not a very common metal until not that long ago, because it takes a fair amount of technology and call it industrial control in order to successfully manufacture just metallic titanium. Okay. What's the deal with tie tips and induction heaters? It generally works. Because the thing is, there's a little bit of a misnomer when it comes to induction heaters, and that is, it kind of comes from the induction ranges, right? Sometimes it's just like a little, thing about this big that people have on their counter for heating up like one kettle with induction. And it most of those don't work well with a pot or a pan that is non-magnetic. But that's really more of a setting in terms of how that induction circuit functions versus you can use induction or an induction field to heat up effectively any material that conducts electricity. In fact, if you have a high-powered induction heater, you can heat copper to the point where it liquefies and melts. Same thing with aluminum. And you end up with some pretty interesting things if it's done right. Some of the really strong induction heaters, you can actually drop a small rod and right into the induction coil, and it'll levitate and start to glow and actually just liquefy into a molten blob of aluminum, just being suspended in space by that rapidly oscillating electromagnetic field. And then you shut it off and it just drops out and goes splat. Depending on the alloy, small inclusions can cause excessive local heating. I'm going to say, not that it's impossible, but it's not likely to be a significant contributor, because the source of heat or thermal energy when you're putting your cap and your tip into an induction field is that induction field is effectively a magnetic field that's rapidly expanding and collapsing, and by doing so it induces what they call an eddy current in anything inside that field that conducts electricity. And it's actually the high current, usually low voltage electricity flowing through whatever's inside that induction field that creates the heat. So having some inclusions in the material that's in the induction heater, well, it's not going to change the electrical conductivity of the material that's in there to a significant degree. And that's what would be required to make a significant change in the temperature. Okay. Even if you were to make say a tip out of a mixture of, say, sand and metal, well, it would still be possible to heat it. The challenge is things get weird with the induction field, because if you don't have a way for that electricity to kind of connect, it may not heat hardly at all. But anyway, as far as the jersey cutoff, so the jersey order was very quick last week, because by the time we got everything organized and situated and on the website, there was only a couple days left, and we needed to get that order in early last week, like Monday night, because I want to make sure that they arrived for travel time to Europe, which is now just over 2 weeks. It normally takes a little over 3 weeks for those jerseys to arrive, and want to make sure we got them. So the first order is done and ordered. However, we're planning on putting the jerseys back up on the website, I think next week or the week after, and you'll be able to pre-order again. Well, this time we'll leave it up for maybe 7 to 10 days and do the same thing. How do we feel about using concentrate? I think there's some really good options for concentrate. And we've looked into some thermochromic options for some of the devices and the parts. Haven't found a good combination for it yet. Resizing on the listing this time, as in size measurement. Thank you for that. There should be, I'll try and see if I can get some measurements. Yeah. No, we didn't have an email or anything like that regarding the jersey order, but I'm thinking that we will come this next time. I've made it almost to the bottom of my cup of tea. And a stem that tells your mood, yeah. Fuzz. Yeah, it's kind of fun how I'm a big believer in the efficiency of these products. And how nice is it that you can have a product that's super efficient and super durable at the same time. My favorite spot to sesh is just about anywhere in good company. But definitely like being outside. Then again, the spot that I've probably seshed the most is, well, not too far from here. And if you ever come and visit, especially if you give us a little bit of heads up, which we'll kind of round up today's live stream with this. If you want to know more about our company, if you want to know more about our product, if you want to see where we make these things, we encourage anyone and everyone to come visit. Just give us some heads up so we kind of know that you're coming. And we'll be happy to show you around, show you the machines that machine the parts, and show you how we take that raw stock, machine it, finish it, clean it, check it, assemble it, package it, all of it. So, you can't come in the U.S. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, I like this concept. You know, the sandwich is nice, but the smear is something else. Because you know what? Yep. So, if you're, yeah, we've got a location. Actually, yep, at Dynavap EU in Northern Ireland. That's not specifically what I had in mind, but I have to look into that a little bit more. We do our manufacturing here in the U.S. in our shop in Wisconsin. So anyway, appreciate all you people with giving us a like on the YouTube video. That's super helpful. Helps our ranking, helps the searches, etc. If you can, you know, it's great to leave a comment, do a share, maybe subscribe. It's really nice if we get a few more subscribers on our social channels, YouTube, Instagram, X, all of them. So anyway, spent a little extra time with you today. I hope you have a good Sunday or Monday, whatever time it is. And see you next week. And definitely would like to have more of a presence in Australia. So yeah. So have a good rest of your day or whatever it might be. Cheers.